Der Wert der Gesundheit. The Dalai Lama, when asked what surprised him most about humanity, he said, "Man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices his money to recuperate his health." Sehr geehrte Professorinnen und Professoren, sehr geehrte Referentinnen und Referenten, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren,
Professors, speakers, ladies and gentlemen, cara filia, and dear global community, I welcome you most warmly to our conference on cultural entrepreneurship, ethics and health. It's the third conference in the cultural entrepreneurship series, and for the third time, you're going to have to do without your PowerPoint presentations so that you can develop your own mental pictures. For the third time, we have a lot of committed speakers who may provide an example to a lot more women and who should benefit their potential in experience, competence and power in the interest of the community as a whole. For the third time, it's a rather oversized hall, but we do have an interpreter's booth. Hello to the interpreters. Hello back, say the interpreters. This means that we have an international conference here, and this year we've chosen the topic health. The health of the individual, the health of the company, the health of the environment and of the world. And once again, we've invited men and women to talk about their outstanding work. This time, we will be crossing borders between medicine and economics. We're going to be hearing contributions from academics, from the medical, business and philosophical worlds, and from a lot of very committed people. They're going to be talking to us about what is happening out there in research, in study, in industry and trade, in many projects, in initiative ethics, in health and medicine. We're going to be hearing from Professor Vossenkohl later when we record him. Unfortunately, he's ill at the moment. You'll find more information in your program and on our website. As you already know, I've been working for a long time to encourage interaction between philosophy and business. In March 2010, I founded the Institute of Cultural Entrepreneurship. This is just another of our interdisciplinary and international conferences devoted to a topic of burning relevance. To me, it's always important to stress the importance of ethics as an economic factor as well, and to spread information amongst people about how this works, especially young people who are at the beginning of their careers and who will be able to make good use of these ideas in their work. It's the third time we're holding this event, and I can see how it's changing. We have become a film set. The speakers are our characters. The Audimax here at the Free University in Berlin is the location, and our cameraman is called Vanya Wojciak. He's standing in the middle of the room. We have technicians and interpreters, so that people can understand the film, the clips, everywhere. Only a small percentage of our audience is sitting here in the hall. Like in the world of film, most people will be watching later at their desks, on their sofas, in very many different houses and buildings, in many co-working spaces all around the globe. Our community consists of thousands of contacts who will be watching these clips with contributions from our speakers and the presentations on the panels over coming years, thousands and thousands of times over, at their leisure, and they will be able to spread their contacts and link in to the contacts. So something very important is happening at the moment. Let me just tell you about it briefly. When I was younger, in fact until I finished my studies, knowledge was divided into clear, demarcated categories. The hierarchies were clear as well. During the industrialization period, the CEO was at the top of the pyramid, and the Char, the cleaning woman, was right down the bottom. There were a lot of people in between. There were managers and secretaries, there were doctors and nurses, they worked in pairs and they all had their delineations. Culture took place in closed rooms. 20 years ago, young people wanted to be lawyers and doctors, but now thousands are deciding to become social entrepreneurs. We're seeing a global generation grow. They want to be entrepreneurs so they can solve problems, not just to maximize profit. The format of knowledge used to be fossilized as well. There were introductions, reference works, encyclopedias, specialist journals, primary and secondary literature. After a few decades, they might be revised and slowly updated. You would buy an encyclopedia and keep it for your lifetime. Like in the Bible with Diderot or D'Alembert or Charles Darwin, knowledge was presented as a tree. It was a monodimensional image, where information became increasingly specific the further down the branch you went, but the branches couldn't touch. Communication could only happen in one direction. And the same applied to relations between people and the way they communicated. But things have changed. Now we know about all those little bacteria who actually link the branches in this tree of life together. And we talk about networks. The human body consists 90% of bacteria. And the many different disciplines and areas of knowledge are incredibly interdependent. It's by exchanging with one another that we can work most effectively. Our brains work in a similar manner. Our brains used to be divided into segments, responsible for different emotions, different bits of behavior, different instincts. But now, everybody agrees, or most people agree, that the brain is not composed of pigeonholes with different skills, but it's a network of neurons which are constantly interacting. And depending on the links between them, they may be stable networks, and they can develop. Networking is everything. Cogito ergo sum, cogitamus ergo sumus. The internet has changed the pattern, and something new is happening right now. The convergence between computing and human potential is on the way to generating collective intelligence, and soon we will have a collective consciousness. The first step towards this was the networking of millions of people throughout the planet via social media, fora, blogs, and so forth. Progress has resulted from scientists from different disciplines working together to solve various problems. They've developed tremendous creative power, and at the same time they have activated their thinking. Many, many thinkers have been activating their brain cells in order to solve problems relating to the economy, the environment, whatever. And it's leading to a second renaissance, this time on a much broader scale than the first. Some examples. The Polymath Project. Tim Gowers is a well-known mathematician at Cambridge University. He's so good that he has won the highest recognition for mathematicians. With his blog, he has opened up mathematical insights and insider knowledge to other people. In 2009, Gowers began a social experiment. He sought out an unsolved mathematical problem that he really wanted to solve. But rather than going about it the usual way, he decided not to solve it by himself or in a small group of colleagues. He decided to do it publicly. He described the problem in his blog and invited everyone to take part. Gowers was hoping that more heads would be better than one, and that they would support each other with different kinds of expertise, different perspectives, inspire one another, and work together as a collective on a complex problem. 7 hours after he opened his blog for this mathematical debate, there hadn't been any feedback. And then, one mathematician recommended an approach, and after another 15 minutes, a professor from Arizona chipped in. And over the next 37 days, 27 people wrote 800 mathematical comments, and it was all happening at incredible speed. After 37 days, Gowers wrote,
gelöst wurde,
that
wobei das
a far more
Original
complex
am
problem
Ende
had
einen
been
Sonderfall
resolved,
davon darstellte.
because the original
Es waren die
example had only been a
aufregendsten
specific
6 Wochen in meinem
manifestation. He
mathematischen
said it was the
Leben,
most exciting 6
ergänzte
weeks in
er.
my mathematical career.
Aktuell gibt es um die
At the
12
moment,
Polymath und
there are
Polymath-ähnliche
about
Projekte,
12
die weiterlaufen.
projects like Polymath.
Die weiteren Beispiele würden jetzt zu weit führen.
I won't go into
Aber
the other
kommen wir zu der
examples now,
Frage,
but let's come
warum
on to
ist
this
eine
question, why
Online-Zusammenarbeit
working
beim
together
Lösen mathematischer
online
Probleme nützlich?
is useful when
Ein
you're
Teil
solving
der Antwort
mathematical
ist,
problems.
dass sogar die
Part of the
besten
answer
Mathematiker
is that
sehr
even
viel von
the
Menschen
best
mit komplementärem
mathematicians
Wissen lernen
can learn a
und in
great deal
Richtungen
from
gehen,
people
die
with
sie
complementary
alleine niemals
knowledge,
hätte
setting
sehen
them off in
können.
directions which they might never
Die
have
Online-Tools schaffen einen
fallen
Raum,
across
wo dies
themselves.
geschehen kann. Einen
Online is a
kurzfristigen
good place to
kollektiven
do
Speicher,
this.
wo
You
die
have a
Ideen schnell
short-term
von vielen
collective
Köpfen
memory
weitergedacht
where
werden
the ideas
können.
of many different
Wozu
brains
man früher ein
can
Genie
very
brauchte,
quickly be brought
ist heute
together
Routine
and developed.
geworden. Und die
You
Wissenschaft
used to need a
hebt ab.
genius, now it's routine.
Die Entschlüsselung des menschlichen Genoms erfolgte im Jahr 2003.
Decoding the human genome was done in
wo
2003.
kartiert wird,
But
wie und wo sich die
what's
Menschen
a lot more
in
interesting
ihrem
is the head
genetischen
map,
Code
which
unterscheiden.
shows why
Diese
people
Kartierung ist
differ
das
in their
Ergebnis
genetic
der
code, and this
kombinierten Arbeit
cartography is the
vieler
result of the
Biologen auf
combined
der
work of
ganzen
many
Welt.
biologists all over the
All
world.
diese genetische
All
Informationen
this genetic
wurden als
information
Genbank in eine einzelne
has been
öffentlich
fed into a
zugängliche
gene bank
Online-Datenbank,
which is publicly
eine
accessible,
Compilation von Tausenden
a
von Biologen
compilation
gespeichert.
put
Eine
together
ähnliche
by thousands of
Methode
biologists
kann man in
and
allen
saved in a
Disziplinen
memory.
anwenden.
You can do
Mit
this
der
in all
Arbeit von
disciplines.
Hunderttausenden von
The work of
Wissenschaftlern können wir
hundreds of
das ganze
thousands of
Wissen der Welt
scientists
kartieren.
will enable us to
Und mit
map
Hilfe der neuen Technologie
the world's
können
knowledge as a
wir
whole.
diesem
And
ganzen
with new
Wissen Bedeutung
technologies,
verleihen.
we can give meaning to all this
Neurons
knowledge.
that fire together, they wire together.
Neurons set
Wie die
fire
unter
together that wire
Neurologen
together.
bekannte Theorie von Donald Hebb
That was
besagt.
Donald Hebb's
Dies
theory.
bedeutet, wir sind das
And it
globale Hirn,
means we are the
vernetzt und
global brain.
potenziert. Wir sollten
If we
nun das
network, we
Potenzial des
we have an
Netzwerkes entfalten.
exponential power.
Open Science, Open Energy
Open
Systems,
science, open
etc.
energy systems, and so on.
Das menschliche Gehirn kann man definieren
The human
als die
brain could be
komplizierteste Aggregation
defined
von
as the
Materie.
most complex aggregation of
Demzufolge
matter.
die zweitkomplizierteste
It
ist das
follows that
kollektive
the
Hirn.
second most complex is the
Cogito
collective
ergo
brain.
sum, ich begreife
Cogito
mich selbst.
ergo sum.
Cogitamus ergo sumus, wir verstehen uns
And
als
cogito
Menschheit.
ergo sumus means
Die
we
Network
understand
Community kann davon
ourselves
profitieren.
as
Weitere
humanity, as the human
Potenziale
race.
entwickeln, andere entstehen
The
erst
human race
durch die
can
Vernetzung.
derive benefit from this.
Dies alles wäre viel mehr als ein Medici-Effekt. Damals
This would
hatten die
be
Medici,
a lot more
die
than the
Herrscher von
Medici
Florenz,
effect.
genug
Medici
Geld,
effect comes
frei
from
von
Florence
Kaiser und
at
Gott
a
zu
time
sein.
when those who
Sie
ruled in
holten die
Florence
besten
had enough
Künstler
money
in die Stadt,
to be free of
sie
the
zu
emperor
verschönern
and God,
und ihren Ruf
so
in
they
der
brought
Welt zu
along the best
verbreiten.
artists to make the city
Unter
more
den
beautiful
Bedingungen der
and to spread
Renaissance in
knowledge.
Florenz
Under
konnte
Renaissance
sich ein
conditions
Genie
in
wie Da
Florence,
Vinci
a
optimal
genius like Da
entfalten.
Vinci had
Nach
excellent
diesem
conditions to
Muster
develop.
und unter den
Using
Bedingungen des
this
Webs des Lebens
pattern
und des
and
World Wide Web
under the conditions of
ist
the
ein
web of life and the World
Universalgenie
Wide Web,
gleich millionenfach in
a
Entstehung.
universal genius can develop
Dafür
in
brauchen wir
a million
praktische
different
und
forms
theoretische
all around the
Weisheit.
planet.
Deshalb lade ich
We
ein,
need theoretical
über neue
knowledge to support that
Finanzierungsmodelle,
process, and that's why I'm inviting you to
Energiesysteme
talk about
und
your new
ethische
financial
Kriterien zu
models,
diskutieren.
energy systems,
Ich lade ein,
environmental
Informationen über
criteria,
den Wert
and
der
ethics.
Kultur,
I'm
den
inviting
Wert
you
der
to talk about the
Gesundheit,
value of
den Wert der
culture, the value of
Emotionen zu
health,
verbreiten
the value of
und diese als
emotions, and to spread that
unerschöpfliche
knowledge
Ressourcen zu
so that we
verstehen.
can use it
Dabei
as an
sollte man wie
inexhaustible
Homi
resource.
Bhabha mit Ambivalenz und
Like Homi
Widerspruch
Bhabha,
arbeiten
we should be
und
working
sie
with
nicht unbedingt
ambivalence
vermeiden
and
wollen.
with antagonisms,
Ich lade Sie ein,
contradictions,
keine Menschen
not just
auszugrenzen,
harmony.
sich nicht nach den Clash of
I invite you
Civilizations
not
zu
to exclude
orientieren,
anybody.
sondern sehen Sie
Let's not
einfach,
adopt the
dass
approach of
wir
the clash
alle
of
Nachbarn
civilizations.
sind und wir
Let's
alle
recognize
eine
quite
aktuelle
simply
Ethik
that we
der
are all neighbors
nachbarschaftlichen Zusammenarbeit
and that we want to
formulieren
formulate
wollen.
a modern ethics
Und mit
based on
alle
good
meine ich
neighborly
alte und
collaboration.
junge, Frauen
And I'm
und
talking
Männer,
about the old and the
Menschen
young,
aus allen
women and men,
Kulturkreisen,
people from
denn sie
every
alle mit
cultural
ihren
segment,
vielfältigen Erfahrungen,
because
besonderen
with all this
Kompetenzen
diverse
und
experience, with all
gesundem
this specific
Menschenverstand
skill,
brauchen wir.
and with healthy common sense,
Wie Neuronen sind
you
wir
can
Menschen
play
über das
a
Internet
useful
bereits
part.
in großer Anzahl
Like
verbunden.
neurons, we
Eine
humans
Declaration
are
of
already
Interdependence
there all over
zirkuliert
the
im
internet.
Netz
There's a
und ist
declaration of
von
interdependence
Hunderttausenden
circulating
auf
in the
Video
net, and it has
aufgezeichnet
been
worden.
registered
Schaffen wir
on
gemeinsam
hundreds of
ethische und
thousands of
politische
clips.
Werte
Let's
im
work
Sinne
together
des
to create
Humanismus
ethical and
für die
political
globale
values
Gesellschaft.
in a spirit of humanism
Nur so
for a
werden wir
global
eine
society.
gute, gerechte,
That is the only way that we can build a good, fair, global community that is worth living in for us and for coming generations. On the website of Professor Gower's Polymath project in Cambridge, it says, "One Da Vinci changed the world. What could thousands do?"
Wenn ein Leonardo da Vinci die Welt verändern konnte, was könnten Tausende erreichen? In diesem Sinne wünsche ich uns einen guten und gesunden gemeinsamen Tag.
A positive,
Vielen Dank.
healthy, shared day. Thank you.